Hey, this is Dr. Foss, and I want to talk to you about heart rate monitors and heart rate watches. In fact, there's tons of different watches out there, and there's tons of different monitors that are out there. Three of the different brands that are out there, one is Polar, another is Garmin, another is Suunto. And I'm not affiliated with any of those brands. In fact, the two that I've used have been Polar and Garmin. The current watch they have right now actually is the Garmin Fenix 3. And it's this watch right here, actually found it on eBay. You can find watches on eBay, you can find watches on Amazon, and they'll come with a heart rate strap. Now, it's important that there's a lot of different watches out there that will say that they'll actually read your heart rate off your wrist, and that's kind of a new technology that's coming out. It's not really accurate uh, yet. They're still working on really trying to improve that, because actually what it is almost like a light sensor that reads your pulse on your wrist. The most accurate heart rate watches are actually the ones that come with a strap. And so really that's the first thing you want to do is really choose a heart rate watch and a heart rate monitor that goes around your chest. The next thing that's important is that if you're going to be running on the treadmill, that's one thing that I noticed, that some watches will measure you while you're on the treadmill, and other watches won't measure your distance while you're on the treadmill. And so one thing you might need to do is grab a foot pod. I know for my Phoenix 3, I actually had to grab a foot pod, and my wife too with her Polar M400, she had to grab a foot pod as well too to really help to measure her distance while she was on the treadmill, which is important, really. And we'll go on that to a future video. But basically, when you're training for heart rate, you actually want to see kind of essentially kind of how fast you're going and what your pace is mile to mile. And without a foot pod on the treadmill, a lot of times you really can't see, what your times are. And so essentially the first step is when you're choosing a watch. Again, there's all different types of watches out there, all different price ranges as well too. I mean, you can start at $50, you can start at less than that, you can go to, six to seven, $800 for top of the line watch. And I recommend just getting something that's affordable, and that's accurate first. So really looking for a watch again that has that strap, looking for a watch that doesn't read from based upon basically on your wrist, so you make sure you get the most accurate watch as well too, which is important. And again, finding something that's going to work while you're actually running on the treadmill as well too. All right, thanks so much.